video, I'm going to be doing some gel pen painting, as I've done in the past, and this is a current page I'm working on in Mythomorphia, Kirby Roseanne's book. And I've already put first layers on of color pencil. I use Crayola color pencil. And now I'm going, so I've gotten a good base to it. But you know, I want to make it pop some more, right? I want to give it some more pizzazz. So I'm just getting set up here. Give me 1 second so I can see my live, make sure I'm running. Looks like I am. It's going well. So I hope you're all doing well and excited for New Year's. It's New Year's Eve. So what better way to start off the year than, or the end of 2023 with a little bit of coloring. My goal for 2024, one of my goals is to finish this coloring book. That is a goal I have. I just want to finish it up and be able to look through it and know I did it all. I got this book. This is my first adult coloring book. I have other coloring books that I've also colored here or there, but this is my very first one that I bought in 2021. So 2021 is when I started getting into adult coloring, really. Before that, you know, I did a lot of color pencil art and watercolor and pen and ink, but I didn't, at first, I wasn't drawn to adult coloring. But in 2021, when I saw all the work others were doing, all these artists, and what great work, and I found this book, I came across this artwork. I thought, wow, I want to get into this now, you know. I want to get into adult coloring. I love this book. I have so many of his books. I have a whole collection, and this is the first one. And so I want to finish this one, and I'm going to move on to the next one, and hopefully we'll see a progression of improvement, because I've learned so much about adult coloring and all the different tools. Like, I never would have thought of painting with gel pens before, you know. It's only through adult coloring that I even learned so many tricks and all the different ways that, you know, acrylic, watercolor. I mean, I've all kinds of, just about every medium you can use on adult coloring. It's so much fun. All right, so I'm just getting set up here. I've got my glycerin here in the cup, getting that ready. I've got my paper with the, I had this before, paper with the Scotch tape on it, so I'm going to reuse it. So if you use the Scotch tape for your glycerin and color, you just wipe it off and you can reuse it again and again. And I'm going to start working on this and see if we can make this picture. I don't know if it's coming in clear. Hopefully it's coming in clear. I'm going to make this, see if we can make this a little bit more dramatic, or a little more painterly. So start off with, I'm thinking of adding some more yellow. Now I had the paper is a little warped over here and the color pencil wouldn't go on so well. So I'm going to start with some yellow. So of course I put this sun in. I got some great ideas for backgrounds. You know, one of the most intimidating things is when you have these pages that the background was blank and you don't know what to do with it, how to fill it up, what you want to use. And Color My World had a video with like 12 different ideas for backgrounds. And of course, one of them was a sunset. And so I looked for a good sunset reference to inspire me. And I found one. And so I went with this and decided to put the sun over here and put an ocean behind him. So I added the ocean and the sun back here. And I really like the look of it now, of the page. It's much more exciting when you get a background that you can enjoy doing and get into. It does make the whole experience coloring even better. All right, so what yellow do I want to use? I have several different yellows here. I think I will start with my number 7. It's a nice neon kind of yellow. And we'll start this painting. Painting with a gel pen. Oh yeah, this is very neon. I haven't painted with the neon colors yet, so hopefully it comes out as well as the other colors. I'm sure it will. All the gel pens seem to work really well with glycerin and painting. Now with the New Year's here, of course, we're hearing a lot of adding the glycerin to it now. Adding a lot of glycerin here. So let's see. Maybe zoom in a little. Want to keep the sun kind of fuzzy looking. I want it to look, I don't want like a stark line around it. So I'm trying to keep it gradually going from white and I made the branches in front of it much darker, because when you have branches in front of the sun, of course they look black, really, a very dark color. So I'm going to darken them up even more with the gel pen. Probably can barely notice it on camera, but I can see the layer of this it's a very light fluorescent yellow here. And since I already have yellow on there, it's probably not gonna, this part of this painting is not gonna show too much on camera. I'm getting a nice covering of all the any white spaces, and it's making it glow even a little more, which is nice. I'm getting a more of a fluorescent You can't beat a nice sunset in the background. I think it can go with just about any picture with a white space. Have a large white space in the background. A pretty sunset will always... I try to make this look a little bit more tropical. You know, I want a tropical vibe to it a little bit, to this picture. Good reference picture is always best way to go, and there's so many good reference drawings, color pencil art out there on YouTube and Instagram. And I will post this on Instagram when I'm finished, and you can see all the other coloring pages I've done. I've done quite a few. I think I'm about halfway through this coloring book for Mythomorphia. It's a great community on Instagram. And you can see all the amazing work. There's so many amazing artists who do such... I mean, they turn the coloring page into a work of art with what they do. I mean, it's amazing. Some really transform it. It's almost unrecognizable. You know what they started with. Because they bring out, you know, sometimes the acrylics or the oils and the glitter, and I mean, there's so much you can do to these, how you can transform these pages if you want, you know. It's just amazing. All right, I think I've got enough around there. It's very subtle. It's a very subtle, but it's definitely more saturated now than it was before. I really like that. Okay, so put the yellow aside. Done with that one. And I think I want to make these branches a little darker. So I'm going to go with very dark brown. I think 171 here that I have, I'm going to go with. And okay. Yeah. So 171. I also want a dark green for the leaves, like a brownish. There's a very dark green. Seems like dark green. Hard to come by. So I may have to mix it with the brown to get it darker. I think 31, my 31 color here is a nice dark green. Yeah. Okay, so my dark brown, my dark green. This time I'm just going to color, I think, right on top. Yeah. So I'm just going to make these branches much darker because these are, you can see, okay, it's over here. These are right in front of the sun that I created on this page. So it's going to be very, very dark. I mean, I could just go black, but I don't want to go completely black. I think it would be too harsh. Although you could go that harsh with, you know, when you look at pictures of branches and even some artwork people do with sunsets or desert sunsets, you see like a beautiful orangey red sky, and then everything in the front is just looks black, you know, with the direct sunlight in the background. So you could go black. I could go black here. I think I'm just gonna, I kind of hesitate to use black in any kind of, because it does sort of draw all the attention to it a little too much sometimes. I mean, if you want that, you know, but it depends on the drawing. So this picture has a lot of light colors. This almost looks black compared to the light summery colors in the background. Or tropical look. I'm just using my dark green here on the leaves. It's not quite as dark as I'd like it, so I'm going to mix it with the dark brown. So I love about the gel pens, they really give you that contrast that you need when you need it. And well, you can't get that with certain color pencils. Usually it requires a lot of layers and pressure and time, but the gel pen is just, I guess, similar to acrylic. It just sort of goes on dark and stays there. It gives you a nice one time. You only have to go over it once and you're done. So I like that about it, using them. So here I'm not painting it on because I want a nice thick, dark, dramatic lines here. So you can see the difference, right? You can see such a huge difference because I used a very dark brown on the initial layers. Of course, I use Crayola pencils, which don't get very dark, unlike some of the artistic artist grade pencils would. But I don't mind that. I like using the Crayola pencils with the gel pen. Gives a nice waxy base to protect the paper from the glycerin that I put on top. It's a lot of wax in gel in the Crayola pencils. And Crayola pencils have so many colors, a variety of colors. They're a lot of fun. But also, I like that you can get that very light colored look. And I just find that I just like using it with the gel pens. For some reason, I just really like using Crayola pencils with the gel pens. I just think it's a nice contrast. That makes any sense. I don't know. Besides, they work well together. So you get this like very light pastel kind of coloring with dramatic gel pen contrast. And right now, that's what I'm enjoying doing. I don't know how well these, and also because the Crayola pencils they're not mushy, should I say, is that the right word to use? They're not very soft. You know, the softer pencils, the more pigmented, like Prismacolor or Black Widow, they're very soft, and it can look kind of gunky sometimes when you use a lot of layers. It's very thick. It's like a thick layer of makeup almost on top. And I don't know if the gel pens, I get the idea that the gel pens would get clunked up with it, or it wouldn't come out so well if I were to use them on top of a thicker artist quality pencil like Prismacolor or Black Widow. I think which is another reason why I prefer to use the Crayola, because they're harder, and I know that the gel pen isn't, the gel pens aren't going to clog up or have trouble showing up on Crayola pencils, because they've got a hard, smooth surface of the Crayola. And the gel pens just roll right over it without a problem, without getting clogged up or anything. So that's another reason why I think I've been reaching for the Crayola first with the gel pen so far. Now, I could be wrong. I haven't tried the gel pens yet with the Prisma or the other thicker quality pencils, and it may be just fine, but of course I do use the glycerin, and when I use the glycerin and the brush, it wouldn't matter. That would be fine with any pencil. Yeah, it's like a nice dark, vibrant, makes the sun appear even brighter. So now I'm going to go down here, and I also want to make it really dark in the shadows. I really darkened up this to give the image, to give the impression of the sun right behind it. And I'm going to use I'm going to put some glycerin on my brush and sort of push the dark color up to blend it out. I'll use some more green in the front here. Green up here. So I'm just mixing the dark brown with the green to get a nice dark green. I'll leave the green a little lighter on top. Now I'm just putting some gel pen on and smushing it around with the glycerin. Sort of like using it like a watercolor pencil, you know, so we're putting the color down and then just adding water on top of it, instead of mixing it first. Yeah, so now it looks really dark there. I'm also going to darken it up over here. Some nice contrast. Putting the color down first and then quickly while it's still wet, moving it around, blending it out, and going with the green. You want to move quickly while it's still wet. I might put a little bit too much glycerin on there, I think. Overdo it sometimes. When you use a lot of glycerin, like I tend to do, it takes a few hours to completely dry. So later, so you have to leave it out, make sure it dries properly. Picture, otherwise you don't want to. It's very easy to smudge around. So there, I kind of. There we go. I think I'll use a lighter. Oops, I just see something dark. It's the dark one. There we go. Make it a little darker up here. I'm going to pay attention to which color I'm using. All right, it's a little more dark over here, behind the shadow of the rock here. So it looks a little bit more light there. Okay, so oops. Sorry, I'm trying to get to zoom out properly there. Here we go. All right, so far so good. And I also want to darken over here in the rocks. So I'm going to use, now I'm going to go back to mixing the color ahead because I want to paint down the side of the cliff there. Nice thick color. Using the glycerin and blend it out. Just putting a light layer of the brown. I'm going to add some more shadows in a minute. They look a little splotchy, but they are rocks, so they don't have to be perfect. Oh, where'd my pen go? Oh, it's in my hand. Yeah, I'm looking for it. It's right in my hand. I have one of those days. Okay, now it seems to be acting up the pen. I blow on it, that helps. Yep, that worked. Look at that. Just blow on the back and it works again. Perfect. Okay. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. You never know what trick you're gonna need to get your gel pen to start running again. Trial and error. Okay. All right, so I'm just going to go in the shaded areas and sort of fan that out because there's glycerin all over it now. I just put glycerin all over the side here, so now I can just add the gel pen directly and easily smudge it out, blend it out. For the darker areas that I want. Dark pushes it to the back and light brings it to the front, so it looks more three-dimensional. So I think I've got it. Whoops. It looks pretty three-dimensional. Hopefully that looks good. Okay, yeah, so it's looking coming together, right? It's definitely that these gel pens are definitely helping to bring the picture alive more. And give those value changes that you need. Whether it's going lighter or darker, it's usually darker. And again, I'm using them on top of Crayola pencils, and they go right on top, no problem. No issues at all with this combination. And I like how, you can go from so dark to so light. So you have a great value change there. You have a light, medium, and dark. You always want a light, medium, and dark, right? So I do want to bring some of this a little lighter here in the front as well. And I'm going to look for another. Now I did a neon yellow in the sky. Now I want to go with darker yellow. So a very light yellow, and I've got a great selection from the 360 set from Shuttle Art. So got nice orangey yellows and darker yellows and sparkle yellows and golds. So I'm going to go with these two colors, 244 and 245. Okay. can't deal with the cat. Hold on. 244, 245. Let's see here. There we go. The numbers that I've given them, they're not obviously part of their. So the sheet that I have download on, you can download my website. So this is a 245 a yellow and 244 an orange yellow. It's a darker yellow than the one I used earlier, the first one. So I'm going to go back into the sky and also try to see if this will work on outlining. It's yellow color, so this is a darker yellow I'm using. You can see it compared. This is the neon yellow, and this is the darker yellow I'm moving to now. And I'm using this to fill in the background, so I want a lot of color. Yeah, these are great for sunsets. Mixing the gel pen, glycerin, painting it on. Such vibrant, yeah. The gel pens are perfect for sunset colors. Can't go wrong there, I think, in my opinion. And you can see that. Let me pull this down. Yeah, I'm making this nice darker yellow color here. I mean, boom, you can see that color. And the great thing is I'm holding this sideways pretty much at an angle, and the gel stays there. It stays put, you know. It doesn't run around. It's so easy to... It doesn't make a mess. You know, it's very easy to do this without... I mean, look, I'm just sitting here. It's like sideways, and I'm just brushing it off that way. I mean, it's so convenient when you're trying to work on a small area here. To paint with. Normally, if you're using watercolor, you need the water bottles and you need the brushes are dripping everywhere, but here it's very simple, easy, neat, easy. It really is. Look at that. Look how vibrant that looks now compared to before. So I'm going to add some more color onto my Scotch tape. It's more glycerin. You don't have to brush perfectly, it just smooths out so nicely. Now this paper is very smooth. It's very thick. That's another thing I like about the Kirby Roseanne books. The paper is very thick. It's not cheap, you know. Copy paper, Amazon paper is very, so you can use, you know, whatever watercolor, any kind of medium on it will work well, and it's very smooth. So that can be a blessing and a curse, because with a smooth finish, you can get really nice smooth. It's great for a sunset, you know, nice smooth gradation, you know, but you can only put so many layers before. With smooth paper, you get nice smooth finish, but you don't have a lot of tooth to add many layers. So that's why it comes in handy to be able to go over your color pencil like you can with gel pen. I'm just like painting over the color pencil, whereas putting more layers of color pencil would be more difficult. This looks like a kind of a neon orange I'm getting here. I don't know if that's what I want. No, yeah, I guess it'll be okay. It's a little bit more neon than I thought it looked. No, it looks neon there, kind of neonish. It's very light orange, summery color. Always reminds me of lifeguards wear this color. Stand out, reflect the sun. All right, so now I'm putting on the neon orange there. See how you can see it right away. Pops right out. Very pretty color. Might use a darker orange later. So obviously it's a transition going from the yellow to the light orange and then dark orange. It blends really nicely. You don't see a line or anything. Yeah, there's no perceptible line between. So they blend, you know, the glycerin and the gel pens blends very nicely. Yeah, I'm really liking that. I'm going to go back to the yellow a little bit, though, because I want to do this area down here a little bit more. That filled up. Back to the yellow. Darker yellow. And it's okay if you touch a little on him because I'm making the yellow glow on the animal here. This whatever you call this animal. It's a mythic animal, obviously. But I'm putting like a yellow highlight on him because the sun is hitting him. So I might add a little yellow on his antlers there. You can see that yellow, right? I mean, the gel pen just comes in and really saturates it so well. I love it. Pops the color right out. That. It's got a very beaming hot sun there for sure, right? Looks like a hot summer day, afternoon day there. I think I might add a little bit of the yellow where the sun is hitting the cliffs here a little bit. The bird as well is going to getting hit by the sunlight there, glowing there. And on the, I'm going to call it an antelope. Yeah. Okay, so little by little coming together here. So I've done the cliff, sun so far, this part of the sun in the sky. I'm debating what color to make the bird, actually. Should I just make him a brownish color? I have brown out. I don't think I want him to stick out too much. The focal point is this guy. So I think we'll just make the bird, we'll give him a brown, a light brown base. And I'll just use the same brown I used before and just saturate, what do you call it? Dilute it with the glycerin so it's lighter. It's a great thing. You got a dark pen, you can just dilute it to make it lighter version of it. So go much further with, oops. Yeah. Another good thing is you can fix a mistake pretty easily if you catch it quick. I should use a paper towel. I'm just using my finger. You want to get it quick. And it comes right off. So using my finger again. Pushing that color down. So a little bit got stained there, but not too bad. And you can glaze over just like you do with watercolor. You can glaze with a gel pen mix too. And I want to make him darker underneath, away from wherever the sunlight is not hitting him. It's going to be darker. Trying to figure out the shading is always the toughest part. Which part should be the darkest? How dark? It can help to use a reference picture. I'm being lazy and not using one, but could do a search on bird flying in the sun, but it might take a long time just to find a good reference picture. So I'm just gonna wing it. Yes, ha ha ha. And guess where I think the shading should be on this bird. I'll leave it yellow where I think the sunlight is hitting him or her. And I'll get my yellow, get out the yellow gel pen and go directly on the areas that I think the sunlight would be affecting his feathers. There. Yeah, so sort of a mix. I think that looks okay. I'm gonna put a little yellow up here where I think the sun is hitting the rocks. I don't think it'll show here when you put the yellow on top of a already dark gel pen. It doesn't really show up so much. Probably have to get I'm just gonna leave that the way it is, just a little, just leaving it dark. I think it looks fine. Leaving it like that. All right, so that's what I have so far. So I am just going to, yeah, I really like that. I think it looks very good so far. I'm gonna stop there and finish this up in another part 2. So I hope you enjoyed this. Thanks for watching. Take care. Happy New Year, everyone. Bye-bye.